Welcome back to the Passing Show. And this is Harrowings Live with Hal Gill, your host. We are outside of the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts, for the James W. and Francis G. McLaughlin wing. And we are killing time because they have evacuated the museum due to a fire alarm. They have been setting up for a wedding, and I think that might have something to do with it, but they're unsure. So we're probably heading over to Carytown. Yeah. Passing show just brings you a little bit of who, what, when, and where. Raw journalism as it is. Little primary documentation for historians of the future. That's the aim. And if you've got any complaints about the production values of it, best to keep them to yourself. I ended up having someone trying to give feedback earlier today of a rather negative nature, and I thought, well, I think I've had about enough of you. It was tone, it was intent as well to be slightly insulting. And who's got time for that? Remember that you should always distance yourself from cruel people, given the opportunity. And, you know, life is too short, and it can really endanger you. I've been experiencing this in my own life, and I continue to steal things off. I support the arts in my way. And we're always amplifying the signal through the noise, step at a time. Frontier is probably keeping things monitored to tell whether or not it's time to reopen. And folks are relaxing outside. It's a beautiful day. No harm in that. Yeah, you go put that little kid in the bucket. Richmond is an interesting city. If you get an opportunity to come here, I recommend it. There's a lot of different types of people. It's a little chapel here to Confederate veterans. This was an old soldier's home at one time, the site of the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts is, and that building back behind me was part of the complex, a chapel dating from just after the war, I expect. Many of the stained glass things commemorate the Confederacy. And, that's part of history. They haven't removed everything, but they removed a lot in the course of the 2020 protests. It is what it is. Confederate Memorial Chapel historical marker there. Flying a flag at half mast for some reason today. It's always a reason to fly it at half mast, I guess. The chapel was erected in 1887 in memory of the more than 260,000 Confederate war dead as a place of worship for the veterans who resided here in the Robert E. Lee Camp, Confederate Soldiers 7, the R.E. Lee Camp Confederate Memorial Park. In the school across the way for the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts. And North Shard Street. I think that's going to be the street we take down to Carytown. looking for a couple of things. Shouldn't be too long before I get down there. See a Vitruvian man etched into the glass here. Interesting building. Across the way of All Saints Reformed Presbyterian Church. Folks working, doing art. Nice. Keep the power in that phone. I think I'm going to cut the passing show pretty soon. You've seen enough.
Picture on his phone? He bought it to take a picture of me this week.
It's good to have had a few with me. Harriet, very informative. Seems like a nice place. I'm looking forward to watching the video of this later. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Well, it won't be much. Like I said, I'm running low on power, so I'm probably going to pull this plug on this one right now. Remember, every cent spent is a vote for the kind of world you're co-creating. If you're out there in the protests for No King's Day, remember we need to follow through and do more. Simply wave signs. There has to be some way of getting the attention of the people in power. And my view is that it can be done by being quite mindful of exactly where we allow our money to go. Some think we're powerless. I don't believe it's true. I believe we make choices. We might not want to inconvenience ourselves, but if enough people will raise up and say no, this far and no further, and in fact, we need a reformation of the entire system. It could be reformed, but it takes the will of the people to unite and march in an organized fashion. There is a general strike movement afoot. It's only got 300,000 plus names on it so far. It needs well over 1 million. 11 million would be good to make it a viable thing. So if you're really committed, look up General Strike. Google it up. It'll come up. You can sign up on your support of it, and we can start affecting real change. Otherwise, kind of pissing in the wind. No, it's not the most elegant metaphor, but there you are. Probably most accurate. Onwards. And out here. Talk to you later.